We are looking for life or death stories. Do you have one? 470-741-4999. Fram, have you ever been in a life or death situation?
I was thinking about this, not really life or death, so I'm curious as to what these situations are going to be.
I have been. I don't know if you remember, I had an accident it was right when I left 99X the first time, where we were speared by an older, elderly woman in a big, Lincoln, driving back from Seaside, Florida. And my 1-year-old, Maddie, was in the car. And we got speared on the side, and we flipped 5 or 6 times.
That was terrible.
And I thought I was dead. The moment that it happened, I just felt like everything just stopped.
Was your life flashing before you?
Completely like you see in movies, where I was seeing things from different times and eras, and then you wake up and you're just covered in glass, and there's EMS people all around you. And the woman was all right that hit us. It was Alabama, where you guys in Alabama, I know you're from there. You didn't used to have lights on these cross streets. They had stop signs. Mm-hmm. And I guess the woman just didn't pay attention to it. She drove that road every day.
You had to have been freaking out, too, about your daughter being in the car.
Oh, that was the first thing that started flashing through my head. So luckily, besides glass in your head and broken things, everyone was okay. But that was definitely a situation that freaked me out. I want to see what listeners have, because there's so many things you can learn from these situations, but also it opens your eyes to a lot of things and the way you moving forward, treat certain things, or the way you think about certain things.
Absolutely.
Hey, Morning X, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you doing? Doing
good. What was your life or death situation?
Yes, I was pulled off of a on-ramp on Windy Hill Road. A car zipped around me and stopped in the middle of the road and blocked me. And the guy got out of the car, and he had a gun in his pocket. I could see it. They kept reaching into his pocket. I could see the butt of the gun, and he starts yelling at me because he claimed that I had cut him off while he was trying to take the... And, that was fun. I was actually rideshare driving at the time, and I had 2 passengers in the back seat. And this was during the Christmas holidays last year. And it wasn't New Year's Eve. It was a couple of days before that. And I was taking this middle-aged couple, to a club somewhere up near Truist Park. I don't remember the name of the club. I didn't even see this guy. And I take the Windy Hill exit, and all of a sudden this little sports car, like an older model Nissan something, whips around me on my right side. And then he does one of those Burt Reynolds stops where he, just whips the car to a 90-degree angle and stops. And he jumps out and he starts yelling at me, "You cut me off. You almost ran me off the road," using every 4-letter word there is. He was clearly agitated, yeah. If I were guessing, I would say he was probably on something. He wasn't just drunk. Well, he's very aggressive. And he comes right up to the window, the driver's window. And then after he's been yelling at me, he comes up to the driver's window and he sees that I've got witnesses in the back seat. And he just pauses for a second. And he says, "You should know better." And he just huffs off back to his car. And then he spins out, making sure he's trying to impress everybody, at 11:30 at night, spinning his wheels as fast as he can. He takes off up the off-ramp. And the 2 passengers behind in the car, they're just terrified. Their eyes are wide as saucers. And I said, "Well, I'm sorry about that. That's actually never happened to me before."
That's insane. Did you report this?
Of course I did.
Did he pull the gun on you ever? Did the gun come out?
No, not fully. He kept pulling his hand out of his jacket, but the muzzle, the very front part of the gun is still in his pocket, but I could see the butt of the gun and his hands gripped around it. I'm like, this guy's nuts.
Yeah, this is what's wrong with the roadways. This is ridiculous. What's your name?
Road rage.
Griff Murray.
Well, be careful out there. Yeah, be careful.
Okay, I love your station. I just moved to Georgia like 12 years ago, so I never heard the original 99X. But, oh, my God, I've been addicted to you guys since January.
Well, we thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're the one. We appreciate it. Hey, have a great day.
Thanks for the story.
All right, thanks.
All right, bye-bye.
That's a life or death one, too. You don't know what's going to happen in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Hey, Morning X. Good morning. Who is this?
John Carlton, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Where are you calling from today?
I am in Lilburn, Georgia. Thrillburn, we like to call it.
Thrillburn.
Never heard that.
What's your life or death story?
And I got Leslie on here too?
Yeah, everybody. Full party.
Yes.
This is legendary status right here. You guys are this thing, and this is why the radio stations do well. Everybody loves this, the Morning X, so it's great to have you guys back.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, share your story.
Both my brother and I, and actually our parents are pure Atlantans. But anyway, my brother and I are driving back from a job. We had a little high school job where we were dropping flyers off in people's apartment complexes. Yes, we were those people. And we were coming back from that going 400 North, getting off at Holcomb Bridge. We went to Norcross High School, so we were turning right and getting off of Holcomb Bridge. Well, this Mustang comes from the far left lane right at the exit and comes flying all the way across. And my brother is driving, and he takes immediate offense to this, as do I. I mean, how dare you come across so many lanes to cut us off here in the exit lane? And so we start doing hand gestures back and forth, flashing lights, flicking them off. Then there was something that stopped us cold. That was in between, it was a Mustang, so in between the two bucket seats, they didn't have tinted windows, they hold up a gun.
Jesus.
That was like full stop on hand gestures and everything. And I look over at my brother and like, that's a gun.
Yeah, these days you can't do that. You can't hand gesture on the road. Like, those days are over.
No.
Right, for sure. And we're teenagers, and this is before road rage was even a thing.
Okay. Yeah.
So anyway, we're coming off of work, and we're just offended. We're teenagers, impulsive, and all that other stuff. These guys were older than us. That's what one thing we could tell. They were like either college age or, maybe late 20s. Well, the green light goes and we go. My brother takes as an opportunity his Dodge Lancer to like, hey, let's pass these guys. Yeah. And I don't know if you've taken a right off of Holcomb Bridge in a while, but there's red light, red light, red light. Well, the gods of the red light were shining on us because we got a bunch of green lights, and my brother was able to kind of take off and to get a little bit ahead of them. And we make it about maybe 5 or 6 red lights, and then we're kind of by ourselves. And, you can get in between those red light cycles. But we came around this blind corner, and they're catching up to us, and it's a red light, and there's nothing we can do.
Dude.
They pulled up. Yeah, we're in the right turn lane, but we're not turning right. They come up, and they go diagonally, and the passenger is leaning out, and he's pointing the gun at the front of the car.
No fire? Did he fire at all?
No, he did not shoot the gun. They're just holding it out so we won't move when the light turns green. So they got a little bit of space, and then they end up pulling in front of us. Well, the light turns green. We're stacking up cars behind us. Both doors come flying open, passenger and driver. I'm in the passenger seat. My brother's in the driver's seat. Again, different decision-making strategies here. My brother is rolling down his window. I'm rolling my window up.
Yeah.
The guy comes on my brother's side and swings and misses and hits the door jamb with his hand. The guy is over here. The other guy, I guess he was the passenger. So it's passenger versus passenger, driver versus driver. The gun did not come out, by the way. The gun, once they got us to pull over, the gun did not come out. So they just came out empty-handed. That's one thing I do remember seeing. Sorry, I didn't say that.
Man.
So anyway, this guy's over here, and it's plexiglass in between the insane person and the other person. And I just have my hands up, and I'm like, I wasn't driving.
How does it end? How do you get out of the situation?
That guy's over here, and he's yelling at my brother after, his hand was hurt. Thankfully, he didn't get my brother in the face. And then they switch places. So the driver comes over to my side, and the passenger guy goes over to my brother's side. Just don't ever effing do that again. And you're a bunch of, just expletive-laced, just whatever. And then they finish up their rage. And by the way, we had a bread delivery truck behind us, and my brother remembers seeing that and saying, well, at least there'll be some witnesses to whatever the hell. This is broad daylight. This is 4 or 5 o'clock, pre-rush hour.
Wow.
Yeah, broad daylight. This was not nighttime. This was after we had finished dropping flyers off. at these apartment complexes.
That's brutal, dude. Yeah, you lesson learned for you back then, but nowadays, man, you cannot even look over at someone wrong or something's
Like, we don't even honk horns anymore, barely.
No.
Like, if you're honking horns, you better be ready for game on. So they finish up their rage with us, and one of the guys, I don't remember the driver or the passenger, they're walking back to their car, and one of them turns around and points at us and goes, "Don't ever effing do that again." And then he takes his fist and Hulk smashes the hood of my brother's car.
Oh.
And like puts a small crater in it. So then they get off and drive off, and my brother and I are, after that adrenaline high or that adrenaline fright, we're just sitting there like shaking, and my brother's like, and I'm like, that was, we're just at a loss for words and just trembling and shaking.
Dude, it's bad. That adrenaline, though, too, because that's where it could have escalated again when he hit the hood.
Right. And I was thinking, like, we should have accelerated hit him, but then,
Then you're in jail. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Leslie and I were in a situation where I had to draw my gun.
That's right.
We were almost carjacked early in the morning down when we used to go to the Olympics to broadcast.
Yeah.
And there was a point where there was a point of no return. Somebody was fisting the window, literally trying to get it. And I had to pull out the gun. And the guy stopped, thank goodness.
Right.
But Leslie was freaking out.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. Think about that time.
Yeah. Hey, we appreciate your call, and most importantly, we appreciate you listening to 99X.
Hey, we love you guys and appreciate it. My brother's just kind of jealous that I got to tell the story, so I hope I got all the details right.
Tell him because he was too hot-headed. He needs to calm down before he comes on.
One last thing, we're quite certain that these guys were on either drugs or alcohol or something pretty serious.
Yeah.
It had to be to be slamming their fists around and doing all that other stuff.
That's crazy.
Thankful to be here. I'm a high school teacher. I try and teach these kids to keep calm heads and all that other good stuff.
You must. All right, man. Have a good day.
Thank you.
You guys have a great one. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.